Hey, what's up, guys? So, check this out. I know we usually do the Minnesota Overlander Sin City Tactical Podcast on Saturdays, but I'm not quite sure what's going on with the timeline for everybody else out there, whoever's watching. But it's about 10:40 here in good old Minnesota. I know I promised last week's episode out on Anchor. I'm still trying to get the audio to do its thing so I can get that uploaded there. However, being as the Overlanders have next week off, we are going to go ahead and make this the 30th episode of the season 1 on Anchor. However, for the ones of you out there watching, feel free to comment, and I will try to definitely get your comment up into this video and go from there. So, minus the rest of the crew for tonight, it's just going to be me. We're going to kind of touch on some things. I know last week we had a couple other topics left to go over that we didn't quite touch on and get to. So I guess the biggest thing here is I'm going to try to cover those and go right on into a few other things after this main intro here. So as you see scrolling at the bottom of the page there, you have Minnesota Overlanders.xyz, SinCityTactical.xyz, and the good old G3Survival.com. And now with that being said, check out those websites. Minnesota Overlander.xyz and SinCityTactical.xyz will bring you straight to our merchandise store pages where you can pick up some of the Minnesota Overlander gear or Sin City Tactical gear, whatever side you want to support and wear out. Or you can pick up both items. It'd be greatly appreciated. I know for both my end, being the head of Minnesota Overlanders, and Griff would appreciate it too. Or on our brother Wes's end over at Sin City Tactical. And, just bear with us. I know sometimes things may get a little hectic, personal lives, work outside of this, but this isn't even really work. This is more of a hobby, air quotations when I say that, because we still have a not job to do, but in a roundabout way, we all have to have an agreement of how we're going to present the topics or the content that we're providing you guys. So it all kind of ties into being a second job, weirdly enough, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, being that it's just me tonight, I'm going to go ahead and still do some of the usual staples that you either hear if you listen to the Anchor and audio versions of this podcast. And then for the viewers out there, I'm still going to do the usual staple topics plus some of the extra add-ons that we try to get in here. So just bear with me because this is going to be a bit of a interesting night. It's Halloween. So, I'm sure there's people that aren't up watching this that usually watch over on Sin City Tactical's page, and that's cool. Otherwise, we'll just keep the ball rolling with what we got. So, for starters here, we're going to go ahead and pull up our first topic on the agenda list, which is good old NFAC. Now, I know me and the guys have talked about some of the previous stupid mistakes that this coalition has made. And when I say stupid mistakes, I mean quite literally stupid mistakes. They're more of a danger to themselves than they are anybody else. If you're going to walk around exercising your Second Amendment right, the first thing I would suggest, number one, is actually knowing how to load and unload and clear your weapon. So when I say that, what I mean by that is if you're going to load it and you're going to have a round in the chamber, fine, I get it. Guns sitting there without a round in the chamber, if somebody, wants to run up on you and attack you and you're not at ready, that gun's pretty much just a paperweight. So that being said, I get it. You want a round in the chamber in case shit hits the fan. Now, with that being said, there's the common, well, I shouldn't even say common knowledge because for some people it's not. If you're new to, the whole pro 2A community or even just new to guns in general, you may not know it, and that's totally fine, but this is going to kind of bring you up to speed. When you're loading your weapon, you obviously chamber round, as I previously said, for certain reasons. However, when you go to clear your weapon, first thing you want to do, obviously, is drop your magazine. You don't want that mag in there when you go to rack the slide back or rack your fucking charging handle back to dump the round that's currently in the chamber out so you can make the weapon clear. However, there's times where, you may need the weapon and it's, loaded and round in the chamber per NFAC instance. And now, disclosure here, this isn't me standing up for him in any way, shape, or form. I personally myself thought the shit that happened, not once, but twice, mind you, was stupid. It could have been avoided, and unfortunately it wasn't. So this is kind of one of those things where know your weapon system and be smart about it. Don't go out there and just throw caution to the wind or try to play the piss and match of who's got the bigger dong. I'm sorry. It doesn't work out in your favor for the better if you do that. So, it's funny because most people that know this already, that have been around this podcast a while, have heard me and the guys talk about, treating every weapon as if it were loaded. And it's almost like a no-brainer. However, some people don't seem to do that, obviously, even if the weapon is loaded. So this is kind of one of those things where you really got to think to yourself, especially, and this is me asking NFAC if you guys are out there watching this, because I know, some people catch word that people are talking about you and you want to come check it out and see, what's being said. So this is kind of where I'm at. You guys need to sit back and take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror and question, are you guys really honestly as qualified in all of your weapons training as you claim to be? Are you guys really as tactical as you think you are? Because the way you guys are acting, I'm going to tell you this right now, the general public doesn't see you guys as much of a threat to anybody else but yourself. You guys are out there making stupid fucking mistakes for no reason. And quite frankly, it's just ridiculous. Now, the main reason, though, I wanted to talk about NFAC was to get into a little bit of background history. So this is one thing that we didn't touch on in the last live stream because it started running a little long. And, it kind of is what it is. But this is definitely something that needs to be talked about now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up into a solo on the screen. The NFAC, otherwise known as the Not Fucking Around Coalition, or known as NFAC. It's a black nationalist organization. They choose to identify as a black militia. However, it was founded back in 2017. So this isn't a new organization at all. It's been around for, a few years. They didn't really start to surface, though, until recently with all the riots taking place. Now, with that being said, though, their allies. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Apparently, I lost connection, but, you know, kind of going back into that there, in case you didn't hear what I was blabbering on about for a minute. It's kind of funny that all this is coming about now. Kind of sounds more to me like an Antifa. And I'm sorry, but with the way the world is nowadays already, it's bad enough as is. Shit's going downhill. So if these guys think that they're going to come in and change anything by, making drastic advances or demands, they're out of their mind. And to begin with, like I've always said, I'm a firm supporter in anybody that wants to exercise their Second Amendment right as an American. I myself am totally behind that idea. However, there's a difference between exercising your Second Amendment right and just plain being over the top and ridiculous with it. And the way they're acting is just over the top and ridiculous. There's no reason for it. That is actually liable with basic everyday human life, which, they're going to do what they're going to do. And us as a country are going to do what we're going to do. And the more we, unfortunately, let these guys run around and injure and hurt themselves, they're going to be not only posing more of a threat to themselves than they are anybody else, but if they keep having negligent discharges, unfortunately, there's going to come a point in time where it's going to hit somebody that it wasn't meant for, and that person may not even be a member of NFAC. And that's the biggest part of it that kind of, I don't really think that it would shock anybody if it happened, but that's one of the biggest things that I think we all can agree upon is ridiculous. So basically what I'm trying to say is, NFAC, you guys have been around since 2017. You guys are just starting to surface now recently. Get over the bullshit. You guys aren't this militarized group you claim to be. If anybody is watching and wants to comment about it, feel free to send in your opinion or your thoughts. I'd be more than happy to post them up on screen here and have a bit of a conversation about it. But if not, I guess we're just going to go ahead and move on here. So for this week, this tactical gear item, I kind of figured I'd go something a little bit along the lines, in general, of binos. Okay. So everybody knows what binoculars are. It's, nothing new. It's been around for years. But basically, I used a regular pair for years. Thought they were great. Loved them. Then I came across this tactical pair that actually has a infrared green light on it and makes you be able to see through the binoculars in night vision, which is awesome. And whether it's you're out hunting and you want to do a little bit of nighttime hunting, you still have the binos to see downrange. Give or take, you may have a scope along the same lines, you may not. But they come in handy for many different uses too. Shit hits the fan and you got to pack everything up and go. You're setting up your base camp. Otherwise, for the ones that listen to this podcast that know it as a BSA, you set that up. You obviously got to have some form of night vision, whether it's through, your firearm on its scope or its iron sights, if you can somehow fucking manage to set that up. Not sure how you do that unless you had a infrared laser and a pair of NVGs. But with that being said, this pair of binoculars could potentially save you from, somebody coming up blindly in the middle of the night and attacking you, or a bear, or, whatever. I mean, you have many different uses for this pair of binoculars. And I mean, personally, I spent, I believe it was like 35 or 40 bucks on this pair of binoculars. And it actually came real handy my last annual training out in the field. So I would highly recommend going and getting a pair. And while we're on the subject matter, let me pull this up and I will go ahead and just give you guys a brief showing of exactly what it is. So yeah, it's about 40 bucks and you can find it at Target. This is actually on Target's website. Again, not getting paid for showing any of these products. So you see it's listed $39.99. You can add a $4 2-year. Oh, no, you actually don't see it. I have it pulled up on the screen here, but I have to share it with you. So now you see it listed at $39.99. You get a $4 option to add a 2-year electronic protection plan, but it's a as seen on TV. Atomic Beam is a company that makes it. They're called Night Heroes. 10 times magnification. You obviously have your 42 millimeter lens for enhanced brightness. Great for day and for night vision. And there's a button right here in the back that you press to turn on the infrared for your night vision laser. It definitely is compact and durable. I can fit it in the smallest pouch on my assault pack, which is great. So just kind of go into a little bit more detailed picture of these binos. That button back here that you see on the backhand end is your light button. You got your adjustments there. You got the one tube to adjust the distance. Your front view. Your laser comes out of there for your night vision, which you are still able to see. The overall layout. It's awesome that they have a or not even so much as detailed, but descriptive picture of what the actual product does. So it does shoot out a infrared green laser, and that infrared green laser is what illuminates everything up for you to see in the middle of the night and not be detected, especially through regular eyesight from miles and miles away, or not even miles and miles, about 400 or at least 250 to 300 meters away. Now, give or take, you're kind of pushing the limits of it, trying to see out that far with them at night. During the daytime, you probably wouldn't have an issue. So nighttime range, I'd say, would be anywhere from about 100 to 150 meters. Maximum 200 if the conditions are right. But, being under good conditions, I never really had any issue seeing downrange with them. And they're pretty much my current EDC binos. So definitely go ahead, check those out, and get yourself a pair of those. And let me know what you think. Like I said, if you're out there watching, or whether it's on Facebook or on the YouTube, go ahead, leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the new video podcasts, not only on Minnesota Overlanders channel, but on Sin City Tacticals, so you can stay up to date on every single live stream that comes out on either channel. All right, so the next topic of interest here, being as it's Halloween, it's only fair that we do a little bit of talking about this. Now, here's my big thing. We had a small family get-together tonight. And when I say small, I mean small. Now, with that being said, I was actually kind of surprised at how many kids were out trick-or-treating. Due to all this COVID-19 pandemic issue that's been ongoing now since March. I thought for sure none of the parents would let their kids, go out and trick-or-treat, let alone even be out in public. Tonight proved me wrong. This year we actually had the most trick-or-treaters out running around that I've seen in the last 6 years that I've been out this way. And that's kind of what, well, okay, I guess for the sake of COVID, to protect the kids and that, I get not letting them just run free willingly. But that's what we need, is some normality at this point. So, I mean, overall, was a great Halloween. You seen a little bit of the teaser at the beginning of this podcast with the good old Joker face. Figured it was only fitting. One night out of the year that everyone can go ahead and throw something on and not be a complete weirdo for doing so. So you're welcome. Anywho, here's to some normality. And hopefully within the next 6 to 8 months, providing that the vaccine's actually released and given out, we'll be back to somewhat of a normal lifestyle. Now, the next few things I'm going to talk about weren't even really on the agenda, but, I figured I got some time to kill here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So, number one, not going to say any names, but I am going to go ahead and say this. Found out today a buddy of mine was in a motorcycle accident yesterday. Thankfully, he's still alive and breathing, which surprises the hell out of me. I think the one thing all of us need to remember, even with the election coming up here in 3 days, no matter what side of the fence you fall on, life is too short to play the game of, you have a different view than me, so fuck you. That's not how it should work. That's not how it should go, period. But, it kind of had me twisted up a little bit all day, and not going to lie, when I found all that out, I was actually surprised he was doing okay, but because of that, it actually made me realize a little more that life is too short. Fighting over this and that and he said, she said bullshit, it's not even worth it. There's so much more to life than the tit for tat. There's not only COVID going on right now that's taking place, but there's, so much more. People have jobs, families, lives of their own that they got to take care of and provide for so that they can continue to strive. Well, not so much as strive, but thrive and keep things moving forward. So what I want everybody to remember here is, again, life is too short. It's not a given that you're going to wake up tomorrow. So keep that in mind. And don't shoot the messenger. Please, whatever the fuck you do not shoot the messenger. Last thing here that I'm going to talk about here on the podcast before I wrap it up. Like I've already said, this is going to be the last episode for season 1. We have a week break next week on the Minnesota Overlander side. So you will not see either myself or Griff next week. We're going to take some time to get some content set up and ready for you. A little bit of a review video here and there. Basically just kind of revamping and building off of the current base building block that we already have. So we're going to take that time to, as a team between me and Griff, but we're going to include Wes, like I said the last time on this. We're going to come up with all of these ideas, pick and choose which ones we want to make a staple, whether it be on the Sin City Tactical channel side of things or over here on the Minnesota Overlanders Dawn channel. And we're going to run with it. So I guess really what I'm trying to get at here is just bear with us. I know the last couple of weeks have been up and down. I know I said last week's show was going to be on Anchor and all the rest of the audio platforms, and it's still not. But, I mean, life and things happen. It's definitely a learning curve and a process. We love doing this for you guys. We love interacting with all of you, whether it's through a comment on a Facebook post or a comment on a live stream, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. We love it. This is kind of what we all thrive for when we do all sit down and do these live streams for you guys. So I guess really what I'm trying to say here is season 1 has been great. We've got a base ground already built and laid out to build off of. You guys can still send in emails or still send in requests or comments on any of the videos from this season and let us know what you guys would like to see in here. If there's anyone out there that wants a special guest, especially on my channel over here at Minnesota Overlanders, feel free to reach out to me and I will definitely try to get you on an episode over here. I can't speak so much for the Sin City tactical side of things. I know that's kind of a West only decision, and that's totally cool. But this is going to be a channel where, especially for the live streams, it's going to be a channel where I can have people on that want to interact and get involved and give their 2 cents without being judged for speaking their mind. So go ahead, reach out. Deadman Inc. Airsoft, all capitalized on the Airsoft at outlook.com. And we'll get you guys' questions, comments, ideas lined up, and me and Griff will talk over them over the next couple of weeks, and we will see you on the start of season 2.